capitalism, reshuffle the money 1,000 times, it's always going to end up in one pocket because money makes money. So my mindset was, what if, yes, it all ended up in one pocket, but we all got ownership of that pocket.
Welcome to the Business Ownership Podcast, brought to you by Awareness Strategies, helping you navigate the waters between entrepreneurship and ownership. Hey there, peeps. This is Michelle Nedelec, and I am super glad that you're here with us today because I am here with my most amazing guest, Justin. Justin, thank you for being here with us today.
I am so honored to be here. Thank you, Michelle.
Awesome. So give us a 5,000-foot view of who you are and what you love to do.
All right. So my name's Justin Stevens. I am a father and a husband, first and foremost. I'm also an entrepreneur and a dream chaser. Let's go with that.
So, and in business, what are you up to right now?
So right now I've developed a company I call America's Holding Company. And I'm looking to consolidate the wealth of America into one entity designed to take care of the most important people in that organization, which is everyone. So we are looking to partner together to go out and acquire businesses and build those businesses up through our expertise and through our passions.
Wow, that sounds like a huge undertaking.
It is. So my ultimate 40-year vision, I'm going to be running for the United States House of Representatives. That's where tax laws are changed. And I am going to lead the charge of rewriting the tax code in America.
Wow. Okay, so let's back up the bus first. How did you get into all of this?
Right.
That seems like quite the pivot.
Oh my God, it has been a wild journey. So growing up, when I was 13 years old, my parents owned a remodeling company, plumbing company, electrical company. They bought a Sandler sales training franchise to train their companies. So the first time I went through sales training, I was 13 years old, and it changed my life. So after college, I spent 10 years as a coach, trainer, consultant, helping small businesses grow. And I'm great at helping people collect money, right? That's my whole career has been, hey, let's go collect more money. So I ended up leaving the Sandler network because I was learning digital marketing and I was growing outside my territory and got my hands slapped. I decided, you know what? You get to make the rules. I get to decide if I play. I'm going to go play somewhere else. So that started my entrepreneurial journey. And I tried a couple different things. And each time I kept failing. And at the end of the day, I kept failing because I was trying to be everything. I was sales, production, all of it, finance. So through my journeys, I failed a couple times, continually pivoted, continually trying to build. It wasn't until COVID when I realized I have a very unique skill set. And I would rather use my skill set to make an impact in the world than to use my skill set to build a business for myself. And so I went out and started partnering with people. One of the companies I partnered with ended up being a tax firm. And I helped them go from like 650K to in September of last year, we passed 1 million. And nice. We were on track to do like 1.5, 1.8. We just blew up. And so I spent almost 10 months working in this tax field. And that's when I realized what an epic mess we as the American people are in, and that we need change. And we don't need change like, hey, let's go write this law. We need change like, hey, let's throw this shit out and let's start over. Like, we need change. So I started looking at how do billionaires make and hold money tax-free? In capitalism, reshuffle the money 1,000 times, it's always going to end up in one pocket because money makes money. So my mindset was, what if, Yes, it all ended up in one pocket, but we all got ownership of that pocket. And that's what I'm trying to create. So I've modeled my business after an ESOP, which is an employee stock ownership plan. And my goal is to go out, collect money, and then, so this is tax strategy. People get it wrong. They think tax strategy is about saving money in taxes. It is not. Tax strategy is about how you use and move your money before it ever gets taxed. So you want to collect as much money as possible and share it with the assets you use to collect that money. So for example, affiliate marketing. Michelle, you heard of it, right?
I have.
So affiliate marketing, I believe, is what's going to change America because it puts the power back into the hands of each individual person, right? So this is how we can connect and go out and grow. So I'm using affiliate marketing to say, hey, this is the overall plan, but I'm not the person in charge of this. You need to be. You need to change your life. I'm just going to give you a framework to change it within. And this becomes the way we partner together. Because I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of like driving on paved roads. I'm a big fan of police officers and teachers. Like there's so much good that comes because we cooperate with each other. And so it's all about changing your perception of what is important in life. Because the biggest thing, you and every listener out there already owns the most valuable thing you will own, period, bar none. And that's your time. The decision of where you invest that time is the most important decision you make every single day.
Nice. I love it. And I think there's such a huge opportunity for people to really understand how business works, especially in the States, because the way that the laws are written, you have phenomenal opportunity if you understand what those laws and regulations are and how you can set up your entities and how you can set up your distributions and how you like there's a ton of education there that if you just wrap your head around it, you're like, oh my God, I get it. Like even at the beginning, you said brilliant. My parents were what was where you use their they're not contractors, they're remodelers, thank you. And they own the plumbing and the electrical company. And in order to train their salespeople, they bought the company to train their salespeople. And that is just the epitome of when you understand that restructuring of where are you spending your money? What do you need to acquire? How do you get those assets turning? Then it becomes just an absolutely beautiful thing. And I love that. So when you're talking about this bigger program that is set up, are you looking to acquire these businesses or are you looking to just bring them into kind of a co-op that joint ventures and affiliate markets for each other? Or what does that actually look like?
Either or. So this is the thing. I think everybody should get to make their own choice, right?
Yeah.
Like it is your time. It is your life. You should get to choose how you live it because time is the one thing you can never get back. Today is the day that matters. Guess what? Tomorrow, it's in the future. Yesterday, it's in the past. Today is the only day that matters. And time is what adds value, not money, time. And so you look at this conversation, look at our listeners listening in. Maybe they pick up one thing, just one thing that shifts their mindset for the rest of their life. Time is what adds value. And so we've got to change how we look at time.
Awesome. So if somebody starts to like books a call with you, what does that journey look like? What do you do with them? How do you interact? What's going on?
So ideally,
Mhm.
I want people to just follow me. Just follow me. Engage with my content on social media. I've got a course I've developed. It is completely free. You can go to americasholdingcompany.com right now and go through the entire course on how I've designed America's Holding Company. Every tax strategy, everything I've done, the paperwork, because at the end of the day, there's more than enough out there. And if you want ownership in what I create with my time, you'll become a client. But if you just want to learn with me, I'm glad to have you learn with me because there's so much out there. I don't need it all. No one does. You can't. Billionaires can't spend their money fast enough. We need to circulate that money. Let's get it working for us, the people.
I love that. So who would you say is an ideal candidate for this program?
So who I talk to,
Yep.
I'm very specific. I'm looking for parents who have 3 kids, specifically fathers who have 3 kids, who want their kids to grow up in a better world than the world we live in. I don't think we live in a bad world, but I think it could be way better. So I'm looking for visionaries who understand I'm going to plant a tree today, and I probably won't see the fruits from that tree, but my kids will, and their kids will. And every decision I make today, I've designed this on a 75-year time frame. Most companies think a 5-year time frame is too far. You are looking too short-sighted if you're looking at 5 years out. You need to have this is what my life is going to be like. So strategic planning is huge for companies. Have you ever sat down and done strategic planning with your family? What do we want our spiritual life to be? What do we want our self-care life? What do we want our growth to look like? What do we want? Your career is such a small part of who you are. We have to have this long-term vision of the person we want to be. And that becomes the guidepost for every decision we make. How do we get closer to that vision? That's why, yeah, I say I want to change America, because guess what? If I fail, I fail. We all fail. Like, that's how you succeed, is through failure. Who cares? You've got to have something to chase.
I think that's a huge leap of faith for most people to take. I understand where you're coming from, because the faster you can fail, the faster you grow. And there's more to be learned in the failures than there is in the successes. But I don't think people go out and go, hey, I want to fail. This is going to be epic. What you want to do is be able to, though, create. I'm loving this 75-year timeline, because all my life I have heard that the wealthiest in China have always had a 100-year plan or more on their wealth. They're never thinking about their wealth. They're thinking about their grandkids, and how do we create wealth from them, because those seeds start now. And the same thing was happening in Britain with their wealth, because they understood that in their lifetime, they're not going to necessarily pay off their mortgage, but their grandkids can. And how do they position themselves such that that property is worth the most, not today, but 100 years from now?
Yes.
And it's a fantastical way of thinking, especially for me as a Canadian, and especially in Calgary, because nothing here is really like, if it was built before 1970, we tear it down and we start over. So there's like there's no 20-year plan, let alone a 100-year plan, right? And I think it becomes really easy for people to think, well, if I can accomplish all of the things I want to in 5 years, why would I think about 75 years? And to me, it's paramount, because you structure things completely differently when you're looking at that kind of a timeline, right? You're not just looking at, hey, I need to be where the metropolis is today. It's, where's the metropolis going to be 50 years from now? And if I can assess that and buy the land cheaper and do all of these things, then it's going to be incredibly valuable to my grandkids. And that's okay. You know, it's okay that it's not necessarily making me a millionaire, but it's fantastic that it's making them multimillionaires.
100%. I think a great example of that is Walt Disney.
Mm-hmm.
So Orlando, Florida, he started buying up all this property, right?
Mm-hmm.
It literally swamps. No one wants this crap. But now everybody wants that crap, right? It
Right.
is a cash cow because, and this is what Walt did. He envisioned, and this is what I call it visioneering. You need to visioneer your life. So he envisioned what he wants to do, where he wants to go. Then he engineered a way to make it happen. So you cannot do that if you're not looking 30 years down the road. Like if you're just wheeling and dealing, which is what most of us do, yeah, you're gonna get through life. You're gonna make some money and make an impact and help some people. But at the end of the day, if you really start looking out and say, hey, this is I love coaches and consultants because they always talk about how they want to make an impact,
Mm-hmm.
right? I believe people do not want to retire. I believe people want to add value to our world in the way they want to add value to our world.
Absolutely.
And so you have to envision what is that impact. So again, if you go through the course I've put together, you can literally see my 40-year vision for my family. Like you can download the document. I give you the template I built it from. You can download that. Build your own vision. Build your future. Don't let the future just happen. Because today you are writing history. Today will never be relived. Like you get one shot. So make it count. Go write history.
And go and download that, because I think too, it's really important to hang around people that have an expanded vision of where they're holding their lives, because it's totally different having a conversation with somebody going, okay, so we want to make $1 million in business, and that means we have to hire so many people. That means we have to have so many clients, and this is great. Versus hanging around people are going, okay, so if we bought an island, and we bought the airline to be able to bring people there, so we have the travel, it's a completely different conversation. And being able to expand where you're at, where you want to go, what you're capable of achieving. I always said it's important to understand that the person that's plans are out to Friday versus the person whose plans are out 20 years from now. The person whose plans, you can almost go and predict the further out your goals are, that's how much money you're making. And it's not, hey, I want to have a beer with my friends 20 years from now on a patio. That's not a 20-year plan. It's a plan that you start now, and it's going to take you 20 years to build. And you know that you're still apt to make more money than the person whose goals are only out 5 years.
100%. And it's all about knowing where you're going. Like if you don't know, and this, Michelle and I we've been in the similar circles for years because you're familiar with Sandler and all that good stuff. And I know you're a freaking expert. And if anybody listening to this isn't following Michelle yet, you gotta follow Michelle. She is a freaking genius and she can help. This is the great thing about coaches and consultants. They don't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to do. I can show you what I'm doing, and I can ask questions to help you unlock what's right for you. Because let's be candid, I cannot explain I'm 35 years old, the last 35 years old or 35 years in a way that would let you make a good decision for me. Is that fair?
That is absolutely fair.
You just don't. And I believe everybody, you are the only person who can make the right decision for you. You need a coach, you need a consultant, you need people like Michelle in your life to come in and say, you know what? Have you thought about it this way? And you say, ooh. And that slight shift 10 years down the road is the difference between $1 million and $100 million. You need a coach.
So give us your link again, Justin, because I know people are going to want to follow you.
Americasholdingcompany.com is my website. If you go most social media platforms, I'm at JDC Stevens, STEPHENS.
Awesome. We'll definitely have all of those links in the show notes. Justin, you have been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable it is. Any last words for our peeps?
Be the change you think the world needs.
Awesome. Peeps, this is Michelle Nedlick. Thank you for being here with us today. Be sure to subscribe to this show and join our Facebook group, The Business Ownership Secrets to Scaling. We love connecting with you. Thank you for listening to our show. I'm all about being a resource center for entrepreneurs to give them the information and the support that they need to make it in business. As such, the notes for this show can be found at our website at awarenessstrategies.com/blog. Be sure to subscribe, give us a rating. I like 5 stars personally, and share with your friends.